I've been training for 4 years, and today I'm going to rank all of these arm exercises. So GOAT being the best, stupid dangerous obviously being the worst. Now starting off with, we have barbell bicep curls. So this is where you've got a singular barbell, like a long bar, and you are strict curling it. Now this is good. Lots of people swing on these, so lots of people kick. So they swing like this and throw their body and everything. So if you can control it, then that is better. Maybe you stand up next to like a wall or something, and then you can get more concentration. But lots of people don't do this, and most people swing. So if you're doing it like a normal person, it's okay. Barbell preacher curl, this is like the improved version of bicep curl, although I wouldn't do it with a barbell. I would do it with the easy bar. So the easy bar here, do that exact same thing with the preacher curl, because it's a bit of a nicer contraction. But however, this is very nice, so I'm going to put it in most effective because you're getting that concentrated movement. Because you are concentrating all on the bicep and you're not swinging it like this, like on the barbell bicep curl. So very effective. Dumbbell preacher curl, basically the same thing, but you're focusing on one arm at a time instead of both. So once again, I'm going to put that most effective, and I'm going to put it there. Spider curl, this is where you're like leaning over a bench or something and you're curling straight in front of you. I have never done this. It's supposed to be all right, so I'll put it in the top of good, but I think you might as well just do a dumbbell preacher curl because it does the same idea. Dumbbell bicep curl, same as the barbell bicep curl, except with a single arm. However, this is actually better, so I'm going to put it at the top of good because you can rotate your arm, for example, or you can get more of a better like contraction on both arms. Rather than doing it in one, the bar path is very strict because the bar just goes up and down, whereas a dumbbell, you can physically move it with your arm a little bit better. Dumbbell hammer curl, I'm going to put this in neutral because this is supposed to target the brachialis, which is a part of your bicep that makes it really thick, but that was vaulted, meaning that every single curl does the brachialis the same amount as the hammer curl, so this is pretty much pointless. It's the same thing as the dumbbell bicep curl, but you might as well just do that anyway to target the correct head of the bicep. Concentration curl, I'm going to put it at the top of neutral. Lots of people like this, but I think, why don't you just do a preacher curl? Because you're leaning over your leg or something as stability, but why don't you use something that is specifically built for stability? Incline dumbbell curl, I am going to put this as ineffective. I don't like it because I used to do this for ages, for literally years, and I didn't go up in weight at all. Like in literally years, I was stuck on like the 12 kgs or something. However, now I use a lat pull down. So a lat pull down, you know, you've got those things underneath your legs to like support you so you don't like, you know, fly upwards. I rotate myself back round so my arms are resting on the pads, like the knee pads, and then I lean back and do my curls that way, and beautiful. So if we haven't got these on here, but if we did, I'd put them in GOAT because they are so much nicer. But classic incline dumbbell curls where you've got nothing supporting your arms, I don't like it because I didn't progress at all. Easy bar curls, same as barbell bicep curls, but again, the bar's a little bit nicer because it's not so strict compared to this straight bar. Machine bicep curl, it very, very much depends on your machine because some machines aren't very good, some machines are good. So I'm going to put it at the top of neutral. It can be good depending on the machine, but sometimes, you know, the companies don't make them very well and they're not very good. Cable curl, this was very nice for a while. I would have put this in GOAT because I really liked it, but I noticed that I was putting a lot of strain on my back because when you're like pulling up, in order to keep yourself stable, your back has to engage, like your lower back, and that's when it's not so nice. So if you're doing it at a low weight, then it's nice, but as soon as you get into the higher weights, then it's better to have support. And just quickly, if you want to download the workouts that I specifically use, and you can literally download them onto an app, so you just press start and go, the ones that have helped me build muscle and that I think are the best, then the first link in the description will take you over to my school community where you get access to this full course going into everything you need to know about the gym. And of course, you get access to all of my pre-built workout templates. Behind the back cable curl, I actually quite liked this. I did this for a while, but then I thought it's just inferior to the incline dumbbell curl on the lat pull down. That's just so much nicer. So I'm going to put this at the top of good because it is very, no, I'm going to put it in most effective because it is very nice. You get like a nice squeezing contraction, but I still prefer the incline dumbbell curls on lat pull down. Tricep push down. So we're now moving on to the triceps. So we completed the biceps, now we're on the triceps. Tricep push down is quite nice. It is quite nice. I'm going to put it at the bottom of most effective because you do get a very nice contraction when you squeeze downwards. However, with the bar, because it is quite straight, I think that there's, in fact, I'm going to put it in good because there's a lot better tricep exercises that you can do compared to just a straight bar. Diamond push-ups, I'm going to put this at the top of good because they are actually very, very nice. If you've ever done a diamond push-up, or maybe you've done like a couple, you feel the tension on your triceps is absolutely beautiful. But obviously you can't overload the weight as well. So if you get to the point where you can do like a ton of diamond push-ups, then it's not so easy. Like you've got to put bags on your back or weights on your back or something to increase the weight. So it's not very easy to overload. But as an exercise themselves and the activation you get, it's phenomenal. So I'm going to put it at the top of good. Close grip bench press. This is the same as push-ups. I'm going to put it as good as well because you get a lovely contraction in your arm. The only thing is, it's a straight bar, so you don't get the best motion, like compared to like a dumbbell or something where you can like manipulate the motion a little bit. This is a fixed bar path, so it's not as good, but it is still very decent. It's similar to the push-ups. So you can overload this, whereas you can't overload these, but this has a better movement pattern and this doesn't. Over the head tricep extension with a barbell. I have never heard of someone doing that. Skull crushers are basically the better version of this. So you can do this, but you could do this with a single arm tricep, like with a dumbbell. So with a barbell, I don't know, I haven't tried that. I'm going to put it on neutral just because it might be very awkward. Like imagine you fail at this point and then what do you do? Like where do you put the dumbbell, right? You can't like use your other arm to put it up or anything, so that's going to be very awkward. Skull crushers are very nice though. I'm going to put them in most effective because you do get a phenomenal contraction on your tricep, and if you fail, then you can just sort of bring it down into yourself rather than just sort of being stuck there and thinking, help, right? Seated machine dip, I never liked these. I've only tried these a couple of times because like my gym doesn't have one of these, but I really did not like these. I just thought the contraction was very meh, so I'm going to put it as ineffective. But obviously it depends on the machine in your gym, but that's where I would put that from my personal experience. Single arm tricep extension with a dumbbell, I'm going to put that in most effective because it is very good. It's better to do it on a cable, but if you do it with just a dumbbell, it is also still very good because you get that correct contraction. And also, if you fail, then you're not stuck there thinking, what the hell am I going to do? You can just simply pick it up with your other arm. And also, I do this sometimes, you can assist yourself. I do this on cable, but you can assist yourself. Say you're trying to get it up and you can't, you're stuck about there, then you can use your other arm to slightly push it up, and that'll give you that extra bit of contraction. Underhand cable extension. I have never done this, so I cannot comment correctly, but lots of people say that this is fantastic. But I would just assume that this is the exact same as the, where is it, tricep push down bar, so I'm going to do this, put that there because it is basically the same movement. Single arm skull crushers, now that's actually an interesting one because skull crushers are obviously very good, but single arm, once again, it has that difference between like the range of motion, like it's not a fixed bar path. So I'm going to put it right next to skull crushers because they're both equally as good. And tricep push down with a rope, I used to think this was amazing, but I don't like it anymore. I really don't like it anymore. So I'm going to put it as, I'm not going to put it as ineffective because it is effective, but I'm going to put it in neutral. Because even though, like lots of people just do it wrong, first of all, but when you do it, it's just, you just don't get as good of a contraction as if you were to do it with like a cable, as in like a bar, for example, because it's hard to explain, but the way it uses tension, it does it a little bit in your shoulder, like it's a little bit of a weird contraction. So basically, it's not as good as using a bar. Or for me, I use like a thing that you put around your wrist, like a, what's it called? Just the thing that goes around your wrist, but I put my hand through it. So say that's the little holder. I put my hand through like this and then go out to the side like that. And that's so much nicer than both of them. Overhead cable tricep extension, most effective. This is very, very nice. If you can get, lots of people do this with a rope as well, but in fact, no, I'm going to put this in good. With a rope, it is better. With single arm, it is even better. But with a bar, not so much. Dumbbell tricep extension, that's basically the exact same thing as overhead tricep extension, wherever that is. So I'm just going to put it in right here. In fact, no. Because you've got to put your hand in a weird place. You've got to put your hand like over the plate. So the plate is round like that and you've got to put it there. It's a little bit awkward, so I'm going to put it in good. But it's not bad, it's not bad. Close grip dumbbell bench press, straight and stupid and dangerous. It's not dangerous, but it is stupid. So lots of people call this a hex press. So basically you've got your arms like this and you go close to your chest and push out. That is not how your chest works. So even though this is for your triceps, this is not correct. If you were to, I don't know if they are acting it a little bit wrong here, but if you were to go down to your side like this, and that'd be more of a close grip, then fine, that's okay. But in fact, I think that's what they mean. Lots of people do hex press for their chest like this, and it's terrible. For your tricep, it's okay, but it's just not very good. I'm going to put it in as ineffective because it's just not very good. You might as well just do a press up. It's just so much better than these. Tricep dips, GOAT. Tricep dips are absolutely beautiful. Lots of people say it hurts their shoulders, but if you tuck yourself in, this is what I do a lot. I bring my knees upwards, like into my abs, like I'm crunching, and then I bring my shoulders forward like this, so I'm crunching into myself, and that you get like a beautiful contraction of your chest, and you feel like crazy on your triceps as well. Absolutely amazing exercise. Did I not do that one? Machine tricep extension. I can't remember. I'm sure I put that somewhere. So I'm just going to put it in ineffective because I didn't like it. Bench dips, stupid. They're not dangerous, but they are stupid because that's not how your tricep works. It is, but you can't get much of a contraction on it. And instead, it just hurts your shoulder. If you've ever done them, you'll realize that you feel like a big stretch in your shoulder. And that's not a good stretch. That's a stretch that hurts. So just don't do bench dips, do real tricep dips. And finally, dumbbell tricep kickback, stupid and dangerous. It's not dangerous, but it is stupid because that's not how your tricep works. Gravity is not acting in the correct way here. If you were to do it over the top of your head, then all of the weight would be going downwards, obviously, and that means it puts emphasis on this part of your tricep. But when you're kicking out to the side like this, or like that, all the weight is just dangling down here. It's not being pushed that way. So if you were on a cable, then it would work because you're pushing the cable away and the weight is here going down and you're pushing it away. Whereas with an actual dumbbell, it's hard to explain, but hopefully you understand how gravity works. That is not how gravity works. If you're holding a dumbbell like this and you push it away, the gravity is still pushing down the whole time. So that is not how your tricep works. And so that is the entire tier list, tricep dips being the absolute GOAT. And once again, if you want access to all of the advanced education within inside the Growth Mastery course, and of course you get lots of extra bonuses in here as well, then click the first link in the description and I will see you over there. Good night.